The fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Champaign Papis Podcast. Wow, as always, I am Marco Guzman.
And I am Joe Longo, and unlike you always, we don't have Gibby today.
No.
He is currently, and I mean currently, like as we motherfucking speak, standing on the field at SoFi Stadium.
He's about to suit up, and he's going to play that weekend.
Yeah, apparently, even his log of the week has to do with an LA team, which we will get to in a second here, but Gibby is in LA going to the Drake and Kanye Free Larry Hoover concert, so he's currently doing some shit with his pops. Shout out Gilberto. They're at SoFi Stadium right now. He sent us his picks, so we're going to do the pick 'em, just the Poppies.
I like it. What I will say before this, I fuck how we're both repping some U of I merch. We'll get to the U of I segment later, of course, but...
Right. I actually... One thing I'd noticed is that last time I was kind of going through it, and the hockey jersey, the two hockey jerseys I have, I've worn it in about like 60-70% of our videos so far. It's
really?
Just, for some reason, the day that I put these on happened to be podcasts. Because usually I do wear it on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Today is Thursday.
I mean, it is what it is. We still look fucking drippy in this orange and blue.
You got the crush one going. I like that. I like that.
Oh, that dope. The basketball jerseys? We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. But let's get into this pick 'em.
All right, so the pick 'ems always start on Thursday night, which for us is about 2 hours away from kickoff. I have a player starting tonight. His name is KJ Osborne on some late season desperation. Yeah. You try to get a trade off with the player Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
We'll get into that in the fantasy side.
Are you going with the team that tied against the Lions in Pittsburgh, or are you going with the team that lost against the Lions in Minnesota?
So see, this game was tough because I saw like an ESPN, the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers have 5 players out.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember exactly who, but obviously Juju's been out. I don't remember who else has been out.
Thielen's out for the Vikings.
Thielen's out for the Vikings. The thing is, I believe in Mike Tomlin and that Steelers defense.
I do.
I'm riding with Pittsburgh Steelers.
Interessante. Okay.
Because I think the fucking Vikings are a meme.
The Vikings are a meme.
Mm-hmm. Except Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook.
Justin Jefferson is the truth. Yeah. But, yeah, Dalvin Cook, too, he just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Here's my problem, is that I don't like Minnesota ever going too far below 500. I don't ever like a team getting embarrassed and then playing another kind of shitty team and losing again. I'm going with primetime Kirk Cousins.
Wow, that's crazy. So I'm going to be against the grain for the very first pick.
Which is one of the worst decisions I've ever made. Two things are going into this, and like I said, it's the embarrassing loss last week against Detroit, and it's my desperation with KJ Osborne. I'm trying to put some positivity in the air for Minnesota, but Gibby went with Minnesota! Yeah. So, yes, you are going against the grain with Los Steelers. Let me put you in there. So I'm going to put Big Ben in the guys.
Big Bird.
But, yeah, an early against the grain, which me and you have not had an against the grain.
Yeah, we haven't had many against the grain. Yeah, for real. I think it's been like 3 weeks.
This one, I don't think we're going against the grain. Last time these two teams played, you went against the grain, and you were right. This time they play at Lambeau Field, and if you go back to the other one, I even say when they play at Lambeau Field, I'm taking the Packers.
Yep.
It's the Bears, and it's the Green Bay Packers. Now, real quick, this is the Sunday Night Football game, and I fucked up by reading it already. But the reason I fucked up was they don't have it listed separate.
Yeah, so normally when you look at it on ESPN, it starts in order. Like Thursday Night Football, then you have your Sunday games starting at noon, going all the way down to 7:20, but this week it was reversed, apparently.
Yeah, because I think the Bears were originally at 12 o'clock.
So, yeah, that game got flexed.
So, my problem is that when I make this list, I just write it in order, and Green Bay, Chicago is the first one, but I even put Sunday Night Football so that I didn't read it, but I did. Pack?
Of course, baby.
If you would have picked the Bears, I would have.
You didn't even got to hesitate with my pick. The Super Bowl winning Packers.
Last time they won it was like a decade ago. You can't say that until they win it.
Well, they're going to win it this year.
They're not going to.
They're going to win it this year.
Okay, two teams that I don't think will win it. Baltimore Ravens. They're going to Cleveland to take on Baker and the guys.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't believe in the Browns.
You know what? Baltimore disappointed us last week. I believe it was even one of our locks. I think it was yours against Pittsburgh.
I think it was my lock.
That makes me want to say Pittsburgh, but I also think they were Mark Andrews' hands away from a loss.
Yeah. So that was a tough way to lose that game.
Not saying are you mad or would you be mad if you were Lamar, but as a Ravens fan, are you mad at Mark Andrews right now? Because you got to think the Ravens were in first place in the AFC before that. Now it's the Patriots, but
I would be like if I'm watching that game live, like if it's the Packers and for like it's like Devontae Adams.
You've seen it. Are you more mad at him or at Lamar because it wasn't a perfectly placed ball?
Honestly, like I think initially I would probably be mad at like Mark Andrews because it hits his hand, but then I look at it and I see Lamar Jackson threw it weird. But at the end of the day, it falls down to the entire.
I don't know who to.
It falls down to the entire team. You have so many opportunities to score. You're just at the end of the day, it's a team loss. You can't blame it on one person. Even though it comes down to the last play, it's a team loss. You got to take it that way.
I get you.
So,
speaking of having opportunities to score, this team's going to have more than they've had in recent since they lost their best player. Tennessee. By the way, Derrick Henry might be coming back earlier.
Yep,
I hope it doesn't mean in playoff fantasy times. I hope it means playoff NFL times so that James doesn't randomly become a fucking super team.
Yeah, because he's already been
If he has him and Lenny.
Yeah, that's...
Either way, they're going to play Jacksonville. Are you riding with the Jaguars by chance?
Titans.
Okay, I'm just making sure you guys can assume who the better teams are. Another shitty game. The Jets are playing host to the Saints. Mm-hmm. Are you going with the Jets, Jets, or the Taysom Hill-led New Orleans Saints?
One reason only that I need to make my pick. Alvin Kamara's back.
Oh, okay.
Saints.
There's one reason I need to make my pick, and it doesn't even involve a guy named Elvin. The Saints' defense is the best unit out of both these teams.
Yeah, what I will give credit to is even though the Saints sometimes have fucking shitty years, like offensively. Since Drew Brees retired, their defense has always been solid.
They competed with Dallas, who I look at as a really good team, and they had Taysom Hill throw like 18 interceptions.
Yeah, so that doesn't help at all.
Speaking of Dallas, they are going to Washington to take on the football team. The hottest team in the NFC right now is the Washington football team. I believe they have like 5 straight wins against teams like Tampa Bay. And, I mean, every week we pick them to lose, and every week they fucking win.
Well, I'm gonna go with the boys. I think they're just gonna. And I like that fucking Mike McCarthy, even though I think he's not the best head coach.
No.
I like that he came out and he's like, "We're fucking winning that game." I'm alright with the boys.
I like it. When I was watching Washington go on the streak, I was like, "Ooh, I kind of want to pick them soon."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never like hot teams in divisional games.
Yeah.
I think that's when all the hotness goes away and it goes back to who the fuck's gonna run this shit a little bit better. Granting weather issues, of course, because we saw what happened Monday night.
Yeah.
But there won't be. Oh no, there will be. My bad, I was reading it wrong. Oh no, there won't be weather issues in this game. You got the two. This is the ugliest game of the week, in my opinion. Even uglier than the Saints and the Jets.
Yeah.
You got Seattle and Houston.
So, I mean,
I really want to pick Houston, but Tyrod Taylor's out.
Yeah, I'm going to pick with the Seahawks. I didn't think they would win last week against the 49ers, and they won, so they proved me wrong a little bit. Now, do I think that makes them a decent team? No. They're going to win. I would hope so. Against Houston?
Seattle across the board. We like to see it. All right. This is an interesting stat right here. The Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers all have the same record.
Uh-huh.
And they're all wishing they were Tampa Bay in the NFC South.
Yeah.
We have the Saints winning. Who's going to join them? Will it be the Falcons or will it be the Panthers? They're playing each other. Who's going to be the worst team in the NFC South?
Wow, that one's tough. Because I don't look at anyone in either one of them like, oh, I'm convinced that they're decent.
Yeah, I look at all three of those teams. They're dog shit.
Yeah.
The Bears could beat all three of those teams.
And like,
if in my personal power rankings I have the Bears above you, you're not a good team.
Yeah, C-Mac didn't play well last week. Did he get taken out?
CMC?
Yeah,
he's out for season.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I knew there was something, but I couldn't remember.
Cam played like shit and got taken out for PJ Walker.
So that makes my decision easy. Go Falcons. I'm alright with ATL.
So this is what makes it fun, is while I'm looking at this, you already have Pittsburgh against the grain. Mm-hmm. And I am 5 picks behind you.
Yep.
And Carolina was Gibby's pick, meaning if I go with Carolina, you'll be against the grain. But my problem is I don't want to waste having you go against the grain and losing tonight, because Minnesota's going to fucking win.
I don't know.
I'm going to ride with the Falcons.
I like to hear that shit.
Because I think it's at this point like 8 weeks ago, I said I'm never picking the Panthers again.
Yeah.
And it has still come to curse me because I don't think I've gotten the Panthers game right all year long.
Yeah. You went against your words. You went against back the advice of the old Joey.
That's right. But that's when they brought Cam back, so that is why. In my defense.
Do you think we got let into the hype a little bit? Because he had one good game.
No. I'm saying when he first came back and had that one good game, and then he started, that's when I went back to picking Carolina, and I was wrong.
That's true.
Here's a team that I was loving the whole season, even when they were playing like shit. Here's a fake good team that they're playing. The Vegas Raiders, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are finally all the way back. They've been playing great football.
They have, and they're going to play absolutely phenomenal on January 2nd when we're sitting there. We just booked our hotel. I did not know this. Ready for this? Cincinnati is right on the border of Ohio and Kentucky, which in my mind, I didn't even put those two states near each other. So my hotel is in Kentucky. Oh, and then we are gonna cross a bridge, and that bridge directly leads to the stadium. So we are a mile away from the stadium while being in an entirely different state.
I did not know Cincinnati was that close to the border, and you're right. I mean, I knew they were like.
If you said Ohio and Kentucky, I wasn't putting them having a border.
Yeah, I thought like Ohio was here and like Kentucky was like here.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just felt like there was something in between.
Yeah, I just didn't know. That's a brain fart.
Jake sent us the reservation of Kentucky, and I was like, yo. But either way, they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who we will lead off the 3 o'clock window with when we come back.
I like that.
So like we said, we are starting off with Cincinnati, who will play the Chiefs in the game that I'm going to. And Cincinnati in this one is at home. It was actually, I could have upgraded to include this game in my package.
Yeah.
Dude, I get so many emails from them. It's hilarious. They're playing the San Francisco 49ers. Cincinnati disappointing loss last week. San Francisco disappointing loss last week. Who bounces back?
So see, as I said,
DeBarius is questionable. Deebo Samuel.
Don't think he's gonna play. I don't think they like but they're 6-6 team. No, I gotta go Jamar Chase and the Bengals. I think like you said, they're both coming off losses. I just think Joey Burrow's the one. Joey Burrow's a better quarterback. I think they're gonna get this done.
I think San Francisco is coming off a loss that they're gonna regret when they're fighting for a playoff spot in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. I think Cincinnati came off a loss that it's like good teams lose games here and there, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
And they lost against the Chargers, who are a pretty good team, like a bounce-back game for them, the Chargers. So, yeah, I think in pretty much any way you cut it, Cincinnati has the better team. So I'm riding with the Bengals.
Okay. I thought you were going to pull a little twister at the end.
No,
I thought you were going to hit with
I'm looking for my lock of the week still. I don't know who, but we're going to get there eventually. Speaking of locks of the week, and we were just talking about Gibby being at SoFi Stadium, this Sunday... SoFi Stadium is going to have not Daniel Jones, but I believe the starting quarterback. Mike Glennon's out too. So I can't even name who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Giants right now.
We can figure that out.
But they're going to LA, and they're going to play the Chargers, who just demolished the Bengals. So by any facet of your imagination, are you going with the Giants?
You know what? I'm not. Sorry. I tried to think of something clever to say there, but I just couldn't. Like, fuck the Giants.
I'm charged up on LA right now.
So it is Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm, is that the UGA?
Yes.
Okay, so
UGA QB.
He's ass. But here's the one thing that the Giants kind of have going for them is that Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both out with COVID. Ooh, I should pick up Guyton instead of KJ Osborne. Either way, I have Austin Eckler going. I assume he's going to get pretty much 40 touches this game finally. So I'm going with LA too.
LA had to.
The one person that might have went with the Giants would have been Gibby. And this is how you know it's a bad week for the Giants, is that Gibby locked of the week the Chargers.
Against them, yeah.
So, like, Gibby is the one guy who might have gone with the Chargers, and he locked against them.
Interesting enough, you want to know something? Austin, I don't know what, because I just saw right now the ESPN stats. Austin Eckler leads the team in rushing and receiving yards.
Because he's a dog. And he's second in the league in touchdowns behind, I don't know, some guy named Jonathan fucking
Yeah, he has 8 rushing touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns.
He should be fantasy RB1 like I projected him to be at the start of the year, but the Colts decide to give Jonathan Taylor 40 carries a game.
Because
it's worth it, but
because fucking Jonathan Taylor.
You saw what was happening at the start of the year. Yeah. I thought that's how I was going to keep going and let this dude. I mean, obviously,
I always believed in Jonathan Taylor. I knew he was going to pop off eventually. I just didn't think he was going to go this insane.
That's what I'm saying is that I saw him like top 5, not number 1. Leave all that Echo get it. Come on. Either way, here's 2 teams that we have no personal connection to, and we probably won't even care when it probably won't even be on Red Zone too often. Mm-hmm. Detroit and Denver.
That's an ugly game. Broncos.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at this earlier, and I was like, can Detroit get 2 straight wins? And I don't want to disrespect Denver too much because they are a fake good team. Like when they at the start of the year when they were undefeated, that was fake.
But for them to be considered a fake good team, like you have to have some level of like there has to be some basis behind it. And I think they're good enough football team. Where
they are a fighting for a wild card team.
Yeah, they're 6-6 with the win here. They're 7-6.
That's exactly how I see that team. Not even like where they're at this year so far. Like if you gave me that list of players, I'm like, they can fight for a playoff spot, and that's exactly what they're doing. Speaking of fighting for a playoff spot, these two teams will be fighting for a spot, but for positioning, we were actually just talking about this. This could let New England win the AFC East on its own. And it's funny because it would come at the hands of none other than Tom Brady. Buffalo goes to Tampa Bay this week. Who do you got in that one?
They're playing in Tampa Bay? In Tampa Bay?
In the Bay of Tom.
You can't bet against, honestly, right now, the MVP favorite. Like, if the season were to end right now, Tom Brady is an NFL MVP.
He is the leader in passing yards. He has the worst odds for MVP, I believe, right now.
No, he has the best odds for MVP.
That's what I mean. Like you don't want to bet on Tom Brady because you're not going to win a lot.
Okay.
I guess best odds would be the proper way of saying it.
That's how I was just...
I'm looking at it from a better perspective. You're looking at it from a statistical perspective.
Yeah.
Fun fact, and this is actually my actual fun fact of the day. The most likely Super Bowl matchup as of right now.
Oh, I saw that.
Is the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is the most likely Super Bowl matchup.
Well, sorry to disappoint, it's not going to happen.
It's going to be Green Bay.
The Packers are going to be in the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're going to be in the game before the Super Bowl where they lose to Tom Brady again. But either way, two teams that want to prove both of us wrong are playing on Monday night. They don't want it to be Tampa Bay. They don't want it to be Green Bay. They want it to be LA or AZ. Are you going with the Rams or are you going with Los Cardinals?
Oh!
It is in the desert zone.
It's going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. And see, so I'm torn a little bit here for two reasons. One, I initially wanted to pick the Rams because I want the Cardinals to lose, the Packers go up. Right. But, and because I think the Rams, like, this might be their bounce back week. Like, they finally get their fucking pieces together and win a football game. Now, for that same reason, I don't know if they're still too dysfunctional to win a football game against a team who's playing fucking great football. The Cardinals are fucking A1. They've been winning without Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray and D-Hop are back.
They played against the Bears last week.
Give me the Cardinals.
Okay.
Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
You are starting the week on an against the grain, and you're ending the week on an against the grain for
fine.
2 reasons.
That's completely fine. That's completely fine.
Two reasons here. Number one, I don't like good teams beating good teams twice in 1 year. I never have. I never will. Second reason.
I like it. I'll explain why.
Second reason right now is that, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago at this point, we had one of the greatest Monday Night Football games of all time. It was Patrick Mahomes versus the then Jared Goff and Todd Gurley Rams.
Uh-huh.
And that was the one that ended 54-51,
That's a crazy idea.
somehow in favor of Jared Goff's team.
Yeah.
I see a 30-plus points on both sides of the scoreboard game this week. And I think if it blows up, you'll see that dysfunction and that bounce back that you go away and that bounce back from LA that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I hate this. Listen, OBJ's touchdown last week was pointless, and it fucked me over, and it prevented me from winning. He's going to go off this week. This is going to be the week OBJ makes his return.
I don't know.
This is the week the Rams make their return, and I'm going with the Rams, so I'm putting you with Kyler and D-Hop.
That's cool.
So you got Ben and the guys and Kyler and D-Hop on some against the grains here. Let me make sure there's no other against the grains.
So what I will say is, like, I like the fact, and I'm doing this because I'm obviously a Packers fan. Like, I like when teams like this win 2 games against like fucking like the Rams.
Yeah.
Because that normally means they're gonna lose in the playoffs.
Okay. I like that basis. I like that. I so badly want to lock Green Bay over Chicago, but I don't want to lock that. I was gonna say
that's my lock, but I feel like it's too much of a lock.
I don't want to lock that because it's a lock.
Yeah, it's like you have a lock on it already, like, and you're putting another lock. Like, it's just you don't need the double lock there.
All right, I got my lock. It's tonight. Minnesota.
Wow, that's your lock.
Prime time Cousins.
That's your lock of the week. That's a crazy one. That's a wild one, honestly. I'm surprised.
Minnesota. No, that's fucking against the grain. You need to see the list?
No.
Gibby went with the LA Chargers. Your current against the grains are Big Ben and the guys and Kyler and D-Hop.
I think I'm going with the Chiefs.
Against Vegas?
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking that one. But I already picked the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, so I didn't want to do that.
I haven't picked the Chiefs yet. I didn't give it any love at the beginning of the season when they were playing shit, and now I got to give them their love.
I'm going to put Patty Ice.
I like that, Patty Ice.
Well, it's supposed to be Matty Ice, so no disrespect to Matt Ryan. But the two against the grains are going to be Marco with Pittsburgh and Arizona, so this is pretty much mine and Gibby's chance of closing it. Gibby now has a 3-game deficit on me as well, so I'm 5 games behind you. Gibby's 8 games behind you. He's 3 games behind me.
Wow.
We are going to be the same after this week because me and Gibby went exact same picks across the board. Every other game that I didn't just mention, so every game but Pittsburgh and Arizona, so every game on Sunday, we have the same picks. Mm-hmm. All 3 of us.
So
the locks of the week are Chargers against the Giants, Patty Ice against the Raiders.
And say it with me. Say it.
Minnesota!
I don't know why I said say it with me. I just meant say it. You said
against the Steelers. So 2 of our locks involve some of our funniest teams that we say. I don't know why you just threw your hat and started shmoneying. Is that a shmoney dance you got going right there?
Yeah,
I like that.
Something like that.
But speaking of dancing, we are barely over 60% at this point. We're still hanging on to that 60% right. And hopefully we go dancing into week 15.
We shall see you guys in the next segment.
With our hats back on.